Hey, Eduardo from the Ivory Tower coming back at you. Yo. So today I'm going to talk to you and tell you that you need astrology. This video is going to be about why you need astrology. So really, astrology is a symbolical language that helps you understand what is going on inside of you and outside of you. Really, it's a tool to understand what's going on in reality at any given moment, and even beyond. Even, you can how do you say, you can inspect the past, you can inspect the future, and thanks to astrology you have a tool that can give you insights on what the themes of future events and past events will be or where, and what's going on right now. And it's also, of course, a useful tool to understand what's going on right now in the world, inside of yourself, in others, really in anything. And this has to do with the fact that astrology is based heavily on correspondences. Astrology is a symbolical tool that helps you understand what's going on in the celestial world, and that's how you know. It's like looking at a fractal, but this fractal is reality. So reality works in a very fractal way, or better yet, fractals seem to be a symbolical, mathematic and visual representation of correspondences, of how reality works. They are a subset of the law of correspondences. Because yes, reality works in a way that always repeats itself. The patterns are always the same. However, there are many permutations inside of these patterns. And if you also mix the archetypal themes, coming from the Platonic world of ideas into the mix, then you understand that there is a basis, there is a foundation to reality which is archetypal. People would have called archetypes gods, maybe, in the past. And we have a reality which is based on consciousness, and archetypes are patterns of consciousness, basically. Then everything comes from that. And reality, physical reality, is based on consciousness. That's at least what astrology enables you to understand, or what astrology points the finger towards. So yeah, why do you need astrology? Well, you can just navigate life through your own internal compass. However, your intuition, your feelings, your thoughts, everything that comes, that passes through the field of your consciousness, can give you information, that's for sure. But at the same time, we also know that in astrology, for example, the moon is associated to the unconscious and to your subconscious, really, and the sun is associated to your conscious mind. And to me, astrology is a way of studying correspondences so that you better understand your moon through the light of the sun. Because the moon by itself can be confusing. It can sometimes be it can give you illusions. It can be very difficult to understand. Excuse me. It can give you thoughts and impressions which not necessarily correspond to what is really going on. And if you base yourself, if the foundation of your decisions and if the foundation of your awareness is based on your unconscious, well, then you are subjected to the biases of your unconscious, you are subjected to the fog, the delusions, the illusions that your unconscious can sometimes play on you. So astrology is a tool which enables you to, gather from a pool of knowledge which has been studied for millennia. Who knows, maybe even more, or maybe even from a divine knowledge which has given to people by divine revelation. So it may also be stronger than millennia of, knowledge and empirical experiments and tests done to confirm that what is talked about in astrology is indeed true. So basically you are using a conscious tool, like the magician. You're using a tool which enables you to shed light on these processes, and you have a feedback, because thanks to astrology you can understand what's going on really through the symbolical archetypical language of correspondences, and you can understand, you can then compare what's going on with what's going on inside of you. So it's useful also as a tool of self betterment, self-enhancement, self-awareness, because thanks to the knowledge, to the conscious knowledge that you get from astrology, you can also understand if what's going on inside of you is true, is not true, if it's something like confusing, if your intuition is spot on, or if it's just a thought which you confused for intuition. It's basically a conscious feedback tool that you can use to reiterate the process of being more and more aware of what's really going on inside of you, and to see also what's going on with the outside. Astrology is also a very useful tool because it enables you to understand what's really going on, and if you also study magic based on astrology, which is of course astrological magic, you can also influence reality, the external reality, and you can also influence your internal reality and other people. You can influence yourself. You can it's like looking at reality like it's a cake, and you get 7 slices of the cake, which are the 7 planets, at least here on Earth, and you can decide to maybe get better at that particular slice of reality, which also is reflected inside of you, by working astrological magic. So if, for example, you find that your sun is lacking inside of you and outside of you, so maybe you lack leadership or success, or maybe you are very introverted and you want to be more extroverted, or maybe you want to, have more fame, be more on the spotlight. If you want to be more creative or more conscious, etc., you can work with the sun through astrological magic, and you can basically divide yourself as reality is divided. So you have the corresponding 7 slices in you, and if one slice is a little bit smaller than the other ones, you can work with the same slice in the external world and make it better inside of you. So astrology enables you to be more self-aware and to work on yourself through a tool which enables you to better interpret reality, period. And it's very useful because of that. Astrology is not necessary to live a completely fulfilling life. Of course, if you are into spirituality and you feel that spiritual stuff is your path, then you may be pushed toward astrology, and maybe you feel that you have to study astrology to feel completely fulfilled. In that case, it would be necessary, but if you are not, there's plenty of spiritual people that are not interested in spirituality, and they still do that are not interested in astrology, but they are still interested in spirituality, and they know plenty of stuff which does not in any way or shape link itself to astrology, and they still live pretty cool spiritual lives, and they are perfectly fulfilled. So you can also be spiritual without studying astrology. You can receive guidance, and you can be more self-aware of what's going on inside and outside of you without astrology. However, if you study astrology, you will have an incredibly comprehensive and powerful, really powerful tool, which will hands down enhance your life in all ways. Always and in all ways. So yeah, astrology. Why you need astrology? Anything else? Well, you can also need astrology, I guess. Maybe not need, but it's really a useful tool to understand what's going on in your life and the phases of your life. So if you are in need of comfort because you are going through a particularly rough amount of time, a particularly rough period of time in your life, then astrology can come to the rescue and tell you exactly when it started and more or less when it will end. So it can give you respite. It can give you, a breath of fresh air, because you will have the awareness of what are the themes that you will have to work with, when it will end, how you could maybe remedy those particular rough patch, those particular rough periods of life. For example, if you know that there is a period where that will be, pretty malefic and Saturnian, maybe you can do something with Venus or Jupiter to counteract that and to live better and to maybe minimize the damages, so to speak. Or maybe you can understand what is required of you in that period of life, and you can excuse me, follow through or give your energy to the right Saturnian ways of behaving, like more discipline, more constancy, more work, more responsibility, seriousness, and all the right stuff that will enable you to navigate that period of time in the best, most efficient way possible. And in the end, it's just to reduce suffering. I guess everything we do, even the study of astrology, is to reduce suffering. So yeah, that's why astrology is useful. It enables you to work better magic. It enables you to have some a breath of fresh air during rough periods of time. It enables you to prepare for rough periods of time ahead of time. It enables you to prepare for good periods of time. Maybe if you want to do something, you can elect a good moment when that something will be completely in harmony with what's going on, and it will be aided by the astral currents instead of being hindered or not helped by the external world. And maybe in the past people were intuitive enough to not need that, and they always acted according to correspondences, according to astrology, without the actual need to study astrology. But, you know, today we're not at that level anymore. If you exclude some people, but that's, you know, the exceptions that make the rule. So yeah, it's basically a very useful feedback tool to understand what's going on, what has gone on, and what will go on, what will happen in the future. And that's why you need astrology. It enhances your life on all levels. And that's it. So this has been Eduardo from the Ivory Tower. I'm going back to the Ivory Tower. If you want to make donations, every link that you can dream of is in the description box below. If you can go and subscribe and hit like, I'd be very grateful, because it really helps. To buy my talismans or my services, all links again are in the description box below. Like my Facebook page, there is a shop in my Facebook page. You can buy whatever you want there. Contact me and we'll arrange for the payment and the shipment. What else? Yeah, leave a comment if you want, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And yeah, goodbye.